Well, hello today. This is November 22nd, Monday evening at 6 o'clock, and this is the TLC Health Freedom Tribe. Sean gave us that name, and I guess that's the one everyone voted for. So welcome to the Health Freedom Tribe. And it's a busy week. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. We have much to be thankful for. And so I'm interested in seeing what all as far as participation we'll have today. We might go longer, we might go later, depending on if family sometimes all turns in and has questions. Sometimes it can go longer. But I don't have any jokes today. You'll have to send me a joke, maybe some turkey joke. And this Wednesday at 9:45 in the morning, we'll have our regular half hour Ask the Doctor, and we'll look forward to your calls then. This is meant to be a time where you can ask generalized questions about integrative healthcare, functional healthcare, about any topic that you like. Don't make this specific about your self-management. If you are a patient of mine, please call the office with your question rather than typing it into here. If you're not a patient, that's wonderful. The idea is to just talk about how you would, ask questions about the management of certain symptoms or illnesses or diagnoses. How would a functional doctor approach this? So it's not meant to be individual advice. It's meant to be a generalized response or approach to this. So I hope all of you are well. Let's see. We start with our first question is with SM. Okay. SM states or asks the question, my cousin has Meniere's disease, or what is called vertigo, from an ear infection. It came back when she got the vaccine, but subsided. Recently got COVID-19. Vertigo is back, but worse. Is this because of inflammation? Any suggestions? Yes. The vaccine itself is designed, and I don't want to call it a vaccine. I want to call it a shot. It's a genetic engineering medical device that will seize your intracellular ability to copy and make the messenger RNA, or if it's adenoviral, double-stranded DNA instructions for the spike protein. This is the pathological, or really the harmful component of the biological device. And when you then start making these spike proteins, they elicit a cascade of inflammation, a cascade of inflammatory reaction, not just at the site. We now know that these biospheres have been shown to go everywhere in the body, including the brain. We also know that they've added labels of myocarditis or inflammation of the heart muscles. So there's many concerns about the shot. This inflammation itself will create swelling in the loops of Henle. These are 3 different planar loops in your head, so that if you tilt your head to the right, these loops have fluid in it, and they will start flowing to the right. Or if you go to the left, then the fluid will start going to the left, forward or back, and so forth. So these are in very tiny, 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 tiny structures. And if you have inflammation, whether it's allergies, whether it's a sinus infection, whether it's flying and descending from high altitudes and barometric pressure changes, dehydration, these things can affect the fluidity in these tubes as you move. And those are what the Epley maneuvers are, is to get you to move your head in these directions to get your body used to this. So what we would suggest to you is that you fast, probably the best thing for vertigo is to stop eating for a day or two. 2 days is much better than 1 day. And just drink plenty of water, half your weight as pounds in ounces. So if you're a 200-pound man, half of that is 100, so that's 100 ounces. And then you could have chicken broth, beef broth, things like that. But that gets any secondary inflammatory issues out of your diet. Then take systemic enzymes to help lower the inflammation. Then you could take natural antihistamines like D-hist. And D-hist has a lot of quercetin in it, a high amount. I take 4 a day, and each capsule has 200 milligrams in it, so that I'm getting 800 milligrams. And it works as an antiviral component. And this helps to prevent inflammation also from any virus, as well as adenoviruses, coronaviruses, respiratory syncytial influenza viruses. So it's very helpful because it works like hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin as an ionophore that helps get zinc intracellularly. So those are the things I would do. Yes, if you had a vaccination, that would do it. Then if you subsequently got COVID-19, that would then generate an inflammatory reaction. And then the immune response of the body has been impacted by this biological device in the shot. And so the immune response could be more amplified, or it could be just fine, or it could be subdued. So if it was amplified, then you'll have more inflammation in your body. So I would fast for 2 days, half your weight in pounds as ounces of water every day, chicken broth, beef broth, not with the noodles or anything in it, just the liquid, and rest at home, and take the enzymes and take the D-hist. And these are well studied, and that's what I've always used for vertigo, and it goes very well. Later down the road, you could do EDTA chelation therapy. If you have excess weight, we help you lose weight. But all these things are very beneficial. Okay, then Debbie S. says, hi, Dr. Rita. Hi, back to you, Debbie. I heard magnesium stearate is not good for you. If that is true, why does Orthomolecular put them in their digestive enzymes? It's a filler. It is a standard filler. It is an inert filler. And so you could say, do you ever, you can't live in this world without having some items that are neither bad nor good for you. Magnesium stearate is pretty much inert, benign. Theoretically, people can have reaction to anything. So I have never found in 40 years that the filler for stability of these well-researched nutraceuticals has brought any detrimental effect to my patients. So I'm going to vote on the side that of all things, magnesium stearate is not a problem. So I don't see it as a concern. And Debbie S. goes on to say, also, I hear gelatin capsules have heavy metals in them. Well, there's heavy metals in every breath you're taking right now, Debbie S. The air is full of these geostratospheric engineered, the volcanoes erupting and their particulate matter creates this. China in particular is still building coal plants every few weeks, new ones go up. They have no regulations on their emissions. They're adding to the lead and the mercury in the air. So this lands on the ground. There isn't anything you would eat or anything that the animal would eat from which they get gelatin that wouldn't have trace amounts of heavy metals. So if you want to do a hit piece and frighten people, you'll pay to amplify something that's everywhere, and you'll ascribe it to wonderful research nutraceuticals to cause people to be concerned. But yes, we're aware that heavy metals are everywhere, but the good Lord has given us the ability to chelate this out. That's why we do EDTA chelation. Typically, it's done as a set of 30. Now, it isn't dogmatic. You don't have to do all 30. Any one IV you ever do is beneficial. But in general, people who have been living in the industrialized world have all been breathing this in and eating it, even in organic farmland. So we would encourage you to do some EDTA chelation on an on and off period. We like to do science, so we would do what we call an IV challenge. That's a measurement on your very first IV where we collect 6 hours of urine and we send it off to see how many heavy metals are coming out. And we screened for 21 of them. Typically, lead is the highest. Ever since Fukushima, I've seen uranium in everyone since then. So it just shows you how the jet winds from China and Japan and these areas are affecting our land and ourselves. But doing chelation will help lower this. We have a protocol. You do the challenge and then 30 IVs over a year's time, three times a month. And then we repeat the same tests and we look to see the lead go down in these heavy metals. But even if you only did, 3 a year after year, you'll be gaining rather than blowing up with heavy metals. You'll be diminishing it and gaining your health and microcirculation for the inner ear. Okay, Debbie also asked the question, can you explain what exactly a beamer device is and who would get benefit from it? Thank you. Everyone would get benefit from a beamer, just like everyone will get benefit from drinking water. Everyone will get benefit from, in America at least, from a low-carb diet. Everyone will get benefit from chelation therapy in an industrial world. The beamer mat is a electromagnetic energy wave system that has been developed over many decades in human physiology, electrical biometrics, which means every heartbeat you have is an electrochemical transmission of electrochemical energy, and it cycles so your heart keeps beating. That requires a tremendous amount of healthy hydration and capillary flow and oxygen and minerals and healthy cells, healthy fats and cell membranes. When we look at that circulation in the capillaries, we realize that from the artery from the heart going then to the tissues right in here, and then the veins pulling it back to the heart and lungs for more circulation. This capillary region, there's actually no measurable flow per se. And the question becomes, how does the fluid move? And we're starting, I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. McCowan, Steve McCowan. He wrote a whole book on the thesis that your heart is not this big hydraulic pump pushing it through. Rather, there is a tremendous electrochemical mineral reactivity going on in your body. And so if we looked at the two sides of a tiny little capillary, and there's no smooth muscle, there's nothing other than one endothelial cell turned on its side to be a capillary, and your red blood cells are actually too big to go through this, so they have to evaginate or bend in on themselves to shimmy through. And that shear factor, that shearing, that touching of the endothelium will create a touch, you might say, or a electrical point. I forget the exact name of it in physics. There is an electrochemical impact that creates an electrical input that helps with the cell moving that red blood cell through this capillary bed between the oxygenated blood and the venous return of the blood. So we've measured it. Believe it or not, we've measured it. And I think it's somewhere in the realm of like 6.2 microvolts. And I could be wrong. But we're able to reconstruct that with an electrochemical wave. So if you lay down on a mat, this will help send that wave through with concordance to your heart rate that helps perfusion. Now, it's amplified, and that's why I have it in my chelation suite. When you're doing EDTA chelation and the hydration you're getting and the healthy minerals and nutrients with it, along with the Beamer mat, you get better perfusion. So this is an excellent thing to do. I hope that explains it to you. We know this isn't new. They have been doing this in agriculture. Even the earth has its frequency. There's a name for the frequency of the earth, so many hertz, 6.7 or 8.7. And this regular rhythm of the earth, magnetism, energy, whatever you want to call it, has been studied. And they found that if they put a Beamer mat that gives the electrochemical signal for various plants, and you put them row by row, the row that had the electrochemical frequency, the corn will grow taller and be more nutritious. So this is well studied. Beamer mats are wonderful. And if you need any information, call the office. We'll hook you up with someone who can get you one. All right, Carol Travis. What do you think of Megawave treatment and ionic foot baths? I don't know if I know what Megawave treatment means in particular. Ionic foot baths are based on this electrochemical principle that we are an electrical being. And if you put your feet into a bath that is positive charge, you're going to discharge electron or negative electrochemical energy away from you, which is good. Okay. Very often you've heard of grounding. You go to the seaside, you walk in the saline, salty, rich water, and you electrochemically become discharged into the water. That's why you become if it's thundering, you don't want to be walking by the water's edge in your feet, because you become electrochemical connection for electrons in the air to the ground, and you'll get electrocuted. So yes, I think there's wisdom to it. You could easily do that by just getting a patch of your backyard or next to your door. And I kick off my slippers, my sandals, and I just step outside in the morning just to breathe in and say good morning to God my feet are on the dew-rich little grass, and you discharge, okay, when you do that. And so I'm all in favor of that. Sean says, Sean, thank you for our name, TLC Health Freedom Tribe, THFT, TLC Health Freedom Tribe. So Sean is our namesake person. Any thoughts on when one might consider using inhaled corticosteroids to inhibit respiratory inflammation during COVID-19? Worried about long COVID. Well, I'm not against that. You could go over the counter to the store. I think the name of it is Flovent. I think you can buy that. That has the budesonide in it. You can do that once or twice. I would probably follow the FLCC plan for long COVID. That's longer term ivermectin, high dose vitamin D, vitamin C, melatonin, quercetin, budesonide inhaler. EDTA chelation also pulls those cations of the spike protein out and helps improve microcirculation. So yeah, I'm in favor of that, Sean, and could go forward on that. Let's see. Maxine says, hi, Dr. Rita. Hi, Maxine and the whole Hertzberg family. Is there a maximum amount of daily zinc we should not exceed? Yeah, I think, I don't think I would go above 50 milligrams a day. And I think if you've never been taking multivitamin, mineral supplements or anything like that, and you really are now just getting on board with health and nutrition and preventative medicine, then I've seen as much as 225 milligrams a day for a week, and then drop down to 50 a day. My multi-mineral has 6 milligrams in it. My Immune Protect has 25 milligrams in it. Eating oysters, eating shellfish, eating crustacea, eating liver, eating hamburger. These are the highest to the lower end areas for zinc in your diet. So yeah, I wouldn't stay on a high dose zinc, anything above 50 milligrams a day. It can have an impact on your copper and other aspects of your health. So be cautious. I wouldn't feel that you're deficient if you're only taking a supplement that has 25 milligrams in it. That's quite adequate in my opinion. My multi, because I have my patients on various things like a TLC multi-mineral, I have the TLC Energy Core. I take both of those, and there's 6 milligrams in the TLC Energy Core, and the TLC multi-mineral, I believe, has 25 milligrams in it. I'd have to check. But in other words, don't go beyond a daily chronic dose of 50 milligrams, okay? Hope that answers your question, Maxine. All right, then the next one is Carol asks, I am getting a lot of bites, flea or spiders, not sure. Do you have any suggestions for supplements or anything else? We vacuum every day and dust. My husband gets not a one. Well, your blood sugar is probably the biggest component. If your fasting blood sugar is in the 90s or above, you have a sweet smell to you, and you're going to attract bugs who are hungry for glucose. So the healthier fasting ranges should be 55 to 75, 85 range. Now the way the world has it, it's roughly 75 to 100. I've seen 85 to 125 ranges. Those are too tolerant. I never like to see it above 85. So if you're sweet, and you are sweet, if your fasting blood sugar is above 85, you're going to attract the kingdom of the insects and bugs and stuff like that, because you're emitting sweetness. The other thing that besides a low carb diet is applying Argentin silver spray. That's a silver nanoparticulate liquid. You could rub that on your lower extremities, spray it. It's like a mist. I spray my face with it sometimes. I spray it into my eyes if I think one of my patients was ill or coughing on me. But this is also powerful. Plus, it doesn't allow for secondary infection. Remember, silver is a universal antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. And so Argentin silver, it's over the counter in a product that's about half strength called Sovereign Silver. Colloidal silver is probably helpful. It's clumpy though. Nanoparticulate Argentin silver is a much better disbursement mechanism, so that's what I would use. As far as to repel it, I would be low carb. I would spray Argentin silver on. Hopefully that would help you. Let us know. All right, Carol. Deanne Smith says, Dr. Rita, what do you think of hyperbaric chamber oxygen therapy for oxidative stress or memory? I think it's wonderful. I think oxygen in a pressured environment will drive it in deeper. But more than just taking in oxygen, you have to get rid of the sticky sugar, because the sticky sugar will take that capillary and it'll make it stick together. And drink your water and take a walk every day. Get a good night's sleep. Take systemic enzyme like little Pac-Man that chew up the junk in your capillaries. But I'm all for hyperbaric oxygen treatment. And for memory, I'm also for natural hormone replacement therapy. I'm also, we have a membrane, MEMBRIN membrane. That is a supportive herb. Hesperidine is a herb that is well studied. Certain ECGC green tea extract is good for the brain. Coffee is considered good for the brain. So I'll have a sip. But hyperbaric is really great. Now, the best way to do hyperbaric treatment is to get EDTA chelation first and do it fasting and take your enzymes, then go in. So that would be the best. So I'm all for it. Let's see. Do we have any more questions here? Nope. I think we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All righty. So we've been here about a half an hour. So unless any of you have some more questions, maybe we'll make this a more shorter holiday type day because everyone's busy doing things. I know after here I need to stop at the store myself and get some things done. So I will go ahead and say, my dear TLC Health Freedom Tribe, TLC Health Freedom Tribe, so cute. Well, we'll do this again in a couple of days. We'll do this on Wednesday morning, 9:45 for a half an hour. And then the next Monday at 6 o'clock. Hopefully you'll eat well and not overdo it and not eat leftovers and get all sugared up and attract all those chigger bites and bugs, okay? All right, so I'm going to sign off and we'll do a little shorter one today, all right? Take care, God bless, and happy Thanksgiving.